What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Dazzle video. Today we're going to be talking about patch 7.41c. This is the dark ages of Dazzle. I hope you guys are all surviving right now. Sad news, Dazzle did not get any changes. Things will get better. I promise. We just got to hang in there. Maybe in like 6 months or so, 3 months, 6 months, we will get a rework. Let's go over the one great change in this patch. The soul release radius went ground targeted increase from 400 to 450. This is a core item on Dazzle right now. I've made a whole video on this, so please check it out. It covers a lot of things that Dazzle could not do before, and I think every team can benefit from this item, so Dazzle is the perfect hero to buy this item every single game. Even if there's really no Invis heroes on the enemy team, you're gonna see a lot of Shadow Blades, Silver Edges, and it's great against heroes like Monkey King, Quap that are just blinking around, and there's no really way to block it other than dispelling it. So you can't Lincoln Sphere this off. You can just dispel it regularly once it's cast on them, but it's just a really good item against slippery heroes in the game. I'm going to go over some items that I think are very good right now. As Dazzle, this guy's name is ZDSS. Zero damage, super sad Dazzle support guide. I'm going to put Nene's Dazzle support guide just so everyone knows how I feel about this patch. Starting items, Tango, Smoke, Blood Grenade is very good. You should always carry Blood Grenade. Sentry Ward, Observer Ward. In this patch, you're kind of playing almost like a pseudo melee hero. You're using Shadow Wave a lot as your damage. Level 1 Poison Touch, guys, is weaker than a Blood Grenade, even after like 2 or 3 hits. So that's how bad level 1 Poison Touch is. You're not going to be doing that much unless you're playing against a melee hero. Then you're like zoning him out, but you don't have too much kill threat anymore. So the way to really play the lane is to play around your Shadow Wave. Shadow Wave still has decent numbers, so it's very worth it to play it, and that's why I think having an early Gauntlet of Strength, Circlet, and then I'm going to add like a Bracer in the early game. Oh, I forgot, you still have a stick or a wand. Sometimes I'll stay on the stick and I'll just keep the stick. I won't upgrade it to wand. If I'm having a little bit of a tougher time, I won't upgrade it to save the 260 gold. The Bracer is there just to give you a little bit more tankiness. You're going to be facing a lot of heroes like Lich, Shaman, Dark Willow, Witch Doctors. Jakiros still are really popular. A lot of the top supports are supports that do a lot of damage. And so you're going to need some sustain, some natural HP and sustain. So a Bracer is really nice. And then my favorite item of the patch, Essence Distiller. It has good buildup. You can get the Ring of Protection, you get some mana regen, and then of course you have the Urn. So once you have the Urn, you have a little bit of kill potential. The Urn plus Poison Touch actually does decent damage. Poison Touch on its own only has very small power spike, level 3 and level 5. So the level 2 Poison Touch, level 3 Poison Touch. Right when you get that, you have a lot of potential there, but otherwise it's just fairly weak. The window is very small. So once you have Urn of Shadows, you can fight a little bit better. And then of course the armor and the attributes and the mana regen are really nice. And one of the best things, it's not a very expensive recipe. After you buy that, I would recommend getting one survivability item, either Glimmer Cape or Yule Scepter. Of course, you can get something like a Pavis, even like an early mech, something that's going to keep you alive in these early team fights. A lot of what we're going to be doing in this patch is casting Shallow Grave and surviving long enough to keep casting Shallow Grave. This is a Shallow Grave patch. You want to play around that spell. These are also great because it's an additional save. Potentially if you have an enemy axe or an enemy legion, use them, or enemy razors. Enigma Black Hole, you can walk in with your ult and you can use them. And then Glimmer Cape, same thing, a nice save. And both of these you can cast on your own body. One of my favorite core items right now is Blink Dagger. This is just to really make sure that you land your Shallow Grave. One of your allies gets gone on, gets ganked. You want to make sure that you land that first Shallow Grave. Then you can start the fight from there. If you miss that first Shallow Grave, the game becomes extremely hard. This is like very good insurance that you're going to get that first Shallow Grave off. After you get your Blink, you have your boots, your wand or your stick, a Bracer, Essence Distiller, and then you have a Glimmer or a Yule's or maybe one other survivability item. You really only have one more slot left. You can always buy your shard. I don't think that shard is necessarily something that you want to prioritize because a lot of times in the game, you have to buy an item that solves a problem that you're going to have. For example, Greaves. There's a silencer in the game. You need to have another dispel. Maybe he's gotten refresher at this point, something like that. So you need 2 dispels. Your team really needs a scythe. So you have to save up for Scythe. This is more of a luxury item in my opinion. You can buy it if you just want to go the heal route and you're confident that you're going to get your spells off in any team fight. One of the main problems we have right now as Dazzle is we can't farm. If we, for example, use Poison Touch to farm a camp, it's going to be slow because it doesn't do that much damage anymore. But also, you're not going to be able to fight for the next 15 seconds if you just take one jungle camp. Let's go into our skill build. I still recommend maxing Poison Touch first. I would ideally like to start the game with Shadow Wave and then trade with the position 4 on the enemy team in the lane and Shadow Wave myself. Maybe damage them if they're like a melee hero. You can out trade a lot of heroes. And by the way, our weave is pretty much the strongest it's going to be in the beginning. This is one of the things that needs to be reworked a little bit. It just doesn't make sense with our kit anymore. This is still kind of assuming that we have cooldown reduction mechanics, and that hasn't existed for like 2 years or whatever. But after that, you're probably going to take Poison Touch until it's level 4. Poison Touch level 2, Poison Touch level 3 and 4, 2, 3, and 4 are all power spikes. So you want to kind of take advantage of them. So when you hit level 3, 5, 6, and 7, you have some pretty big power spikes you want to take advantage of. Hopefully by this time you have your Urn or your Essence Distiller, so you can also use those as good timings. After you max Poison Touch, after you max Poison Touch, I would highly recommend that you max Shallow Grave in this patch. Like I said before, right now, one of the biggest priorities that we have in our game impact is going to be getting off our Shallow Grave. One of the best things about this hero right now, numbers-wise, is the duration of Shallow Grave at max level. 5.5 seconds, for example, is longer than Legion Commander's Duel at any level. You would want to get to that point as fast as possible. Cooldown goes down and the duration goes up, so you want to kind of take advantage of both. At max level, you only have 12.5 seconds of downtime, and then at level 20, you'll get the -3 talent, so it'll be 9.5 seconds downtime. That's what makes Dazzle really good in this patch. The reason I don't take the +5 Nautical Projection duration talent is, number one, you actually can't take advantage of 2 Shallow Graves at this point. Even if you get the 5 seconds of extra Nautical Projection time, it only goes up to 17 seconds. The Shallow Grave cooldown is at 18. Only at level 20 will you be able to cast 2 Shallow Graves, but even then it's kind of dicey because you're going to have to ult, cast your first Shallow Grave within 2 seconds, and then you'll barely get that last one in at the end. And from experience, I can tell you that there is a very big chance that, especially level 15 onwards, that your body will not survive 12 seconds against your opponents who are going to blink on top of your body and kill you immediately. 12 seconds is way too long, and 17 seconds is way, way, way too long. It's just not realistic that your body's going to survive for long enough for you to take advantage of that duration. At level 25, I take the +40% Poison Touch slow talent. Anytime you can triple your effectiveness of a slow, I think that's pretty good. Instead of a 22% slow, you're going to go to a 62% slow. I think Weave is one of the worst innates in the game, just because at max level, at level 30 in the late game, you're going to be giving your ally 4 extra armor, or you're going to be minusing 4 armor from the enemy. And it's like, at that point, it does nothing. All right, guys, I know that it's kind of rough right now, but just hang in there. I hope you guys are having a great day wherever you are, and good luck in your next games as Dazzle! Dazzle!